Today I'm flying Air Mauritius on their gorgeous A330neo from beautiful Perth to the possibly even more beautiful island nation of Mauritius. This is the sort of flying adventure I'm absolutely addicted to, so come along, join me, and let's see what this 8-hour journey across the Indian Ocean is like. Also, Mauritian punch. I'm just saying, this might have been the highlight of the day. But first, have you ever been to Perth? This was my first time ever in Western Australia, and I have to say it's fantastic. I didn't have that long here, but luckily there are semi-wild kangaroos close to the city, so I could tick that one off the list too. Some people told me these were wallabies though. Let me know in the comments if you can confirm or deny. I also went running all over, and it was awesome. A couple hours spent in the King's Park and Botanic Garden had me thinking over ways to convince my family to move here. I don't know what it is, I just love this kind of climate and wild mix of flora and fauna. But I did need to head home at some point, and luckily this was also going to be lots of fun because I'd found a way to do that on Air Mauritius using Aeroplan miles. Welcome to Perth International Airport, which is a very nice airport actually. My first time here was a couple days ago, flying in with South African Airways for Flight Radar 24, and now I'm basically making my way home. The most direct way to head home would have been to take Thai via Bangkok probably, but I decided to make it a little bit more interesting and go via Mauritius. Air Mauritius has the A330neo flying, not every day, but some days, between Perth and Mauritius, and then they have an A350 up to Paris, from where I can catch a quick SAS flight home to Stockholm. So I'm going to do a night in Mauritius. It's a place I know very little about, aside from the kind of picture postcard images you see of beautiful beaches and all that. So it should be interesting to discover a new place with very little intel going in. I'm going to see what happens, rent a car, drive around, go to the beach hopefully, and then catch the A350 back up to Europe. So should be very interesting. Another unusual, for me anyway, Southern Hemisphere flight today. About 8 hours over to Mauritius. Curious also to see what it's like on board Air Mauritius in business class. I've got seat 6J, hoping it's a good wing view, hoping the service will be good. Again, I know very little about what happens on Air Mauritius. I purposely didn't watch too many videos beforehand, so I'd come into it kind of fresh, without preconceptions. By the way, stopovers are easy to do online with Aeroplan, and they charge you just 5,000 extra points for anything over 24 hours. Another reason I love the program, as it gives me the chance to get a quick taste of Mauritius on this journey, a place where it would have been a real shame to only transit through the airport. I always put the details of how I booked my tickets in the description, so be sure to check there for the details. And make sure you're subscribed with notifications on, because I ended up making friends with the pilots on this flight, and the amazing first officer Ravish was kind enough to show me around Mauritius the next day. And I'll be bringing you a video all about that very soon. So anyway, let's get going. Really nice airplane, nice ambiance. The colors are quite nice. I actually didn't realize it would be this kind of blue, sea, turquoise, green color scheme with gray. It's really nice actually. And the seats seem spacious enough, good. Probably not the most spacious in the world. This layout has its drawbacks if you get one of the ones that's closer to the aisle, but it's super private here on the window version. And so you gotta be sure to get an even numbered row. Generally a good rule of thumb. Many airlines out there have these kind of configurations where some are closer to the aisle and others are more private with distance from the aisle closer to the window, and it's almost always the even numbered rows across different seat product types. Anyway, good to know. And yeah, good vibes on board. I was chatting, as it happens, with the wife of the pilot and the grandmother and grandfather, and they're all on board. They came over for 3 days with him. Seems like an interesting mix of cultures that you come across here. French speaking, but also English, and kind of a new realm of kind of Indian Ocean life that I don't know anything about, so that's super fun.
I am assisted today by First Officer Ravish and the Senior Flight Master Ramji Gulokeni. Team will be here for your safety and comfort. are expecting 7 hours and 50 minutes flight time today. Because but you keep your seatbelt fastened whenever you are seated. It's a bit time, sit up, relax, and enjoy your flight.
I'm going to give away one of these Amenity kits in navy blue though instead of this turquoise. So if you want to win that, here are the rules to enter. 1. Like this video. 2. Go follow me on all my socials. You'll find links in the description. 3. Share this video on social media somewhere that you can tag me. And 4. Come back here and leave a comment letting me know where you shared it and using the phrase Amenity kit. And I'll choose a winner soon. Shortly after takeoff, it's time for lunch, so let's get into that and also some of the other service offerings on board. But first... Okay, so I ordered the punch, tropical punch, and I imagined something that was kind of heavy on the fruit juice with a little bit of rum or something like that. Instead, it's this very elegant and refined, quite strong, tasty drink. I love discovering new things like this. It's the best thing about flying new airlines to new parts of the world. Beverages you've never heard of that you've come to love. Food, of course. Cultures, customs, words, ways of speaking, variations on language. It's all just the best. On the other hand, the lunch menu is kind of disappointingly European. I was pretty surprised that there isn't a single thing here drawing on the rich culinary melting pot that is Mauritius, a place with lots of interesting produce and a really fun mix of cultural influences where you can eat really well. The presentation was fine, the pasta that I ordered was fine, but this felt like a missed opportunity. The wine list is also 100% French. Mauritius is a wine-producing country. Are the wines as good as those from France? I couldn't say, probably not quite, but I for one would have been curious to try one on board. And maybe that ends up helping people discover a hidden gem from a place they didn't know to look for wine from. That Mauritian tropical punch was a highlight. I'd love to see much more on the menu like that, not just alcohol, but across the board. Give me the local flavors, please. Air Mauritius emails business passengers a code for free Wi-Fi a few days before the flight. However, on closer inspection, it only gets you 40 megabytes, which will last about 5 seconds for most people. Turn off airplane mode and you're done. After that, you can pay $19.95 for full flight Wi-Fi, but that has a 300 megabyte data cap too, which again will give you about 20 minutes of internet access. My advice is to skip it. The data caps make it a total waste of time and money. I understand many people on Air Mauritius flights are probably in vacation mode and not looking to maximize productivity, but still. The IFE offers a fairly limited selection, but on a decent screen. The moving map is good, not much else to report here. The Amenity kit is a nice sturdy case, it's a nice color, the contents are pretty standard and basic, except I really like this design touch on the socks, that's cool. There are many positives. I love the look and feel of the cabin, and the seat is comfortable and private enough. It lies nicely flat, there's enough foot space, and it's nice for lounging and relaxing too. The A330neo is a lovely ride, and this wing view is superb, especially as the sun starts to get low in front of us. Most of the flight attendants are warm and kind. Air Mauritius leaves a good overall feeling, and I think it's a great exotic option for traveling between Europe and Western Australia. It was a very comfortable and pleasant 8 hours on board. But when it comes to the soft product, the service, the food, and amenities, I can't help but feel like they could do so much better, which is to say they have tons of potential, but then they only take it halfway there. I think Air Mauritius could pretty easily level up and become an outstanding airline if they just got rid of the Wi-Fi data caps and used more Mauritius-inspired food and drink on the menu. So as we descend towards Mauritius with these amazing views of the island in the fading light, let's give this an overall rating under my new system, which instead of a numerical score, boils things down to a recommendation. Is Air Mauritius A330neo business class a strong buy, one to consider, maybe look elsewhere, or avoid at all costs? I'm gonna go with one to consider, and I'll say that they are very close to a strong buy. I really enjoyed this flight despite the criticisms, and I wouldn't hesitate to fly with them again. A few small changes and they'd be among my favorite airlines.
$320, $300, $100 above, $200 minimum, $100, 50, 40, 30, 20, retard, 5.
I hope you enjoyed this, and please let me know in the comments what you thought. I always like hearing from you, especially if you've had a different experience with the airline. And stay tuned for more Mauritius content upcoming. Thanks for coming along. I'm Gabe Lee.
understand?